cisplatin. Cisplatin is a chemotherapy drug used to treat various types of cancer, most notably cancer of the head and neck, kidneys, and lung. It's a simple molecule made of only 11 atoms. So the formula is Cl2H6P2PT. The molecular weight is 3.01
Michael.
grams per
I'm
mole.
sorry.
The common name is cisplatin. The ibuprofen name is sp42 diamine dichloroplatinum 2, and the brand name is Platinum. The chemical has a linear geometry. It's soluble in water, dimethylpermanide, and dimethylformamide, and it's commercially available for injection as a lyophilized powder. And so there's no pill form of the drug; it's only given as an injection. So the uses of cisplatin, as I said before, is used to treat various types of cancer. It's given intravenously, and many cancers have developed high resistance to the drug over time, so it's usually given with other chemotherapy drugs to overcome the drug resistance and its high toxicity. It's usually administered once every 3 to 4 weeks for a predetermined amount of time, depending on the severity and type of cancer. Historical alternatives, it's the first of its kind in potency, and thousands of analogs of the drug have been tested, but only carboplatin has proved advantageous over cisplatin, and this is because it reduces the nephrotoxic effects. However, it has a lower activity, so it has longer lasting side effects. And then some other alternatives have been oxaliplatin, but it's had little evidence of effect in humans. It's only proved effective in labs. And then paclitaxel, its mechanism remains fairly unknown though, so they don't think it's as effective. And transplatin has low activity, so it's not been as effective. And historically speaking, mustard gas was used after World War II to treat lymphoma, and then aminopterin was used for leukemia after that, and then in 1956 the first chemotherapy drug was used to treat the first metastatic cancer, and that was methotrexate. So this is just what the injection looks like. The history of cisplatin: in 1845 it was first synthesized by Michael Perrone, and it became known as Perrone salt. In 1893 Alfred Warner reduced the structure, and then in 1965 Barnett Rosenberg was doing research, and he found that platinum electrodes produced cisplatin when they underwent electrolysis, and they found that cisplatin inhibited E. coli's ability to reproduce. So they began implanting sarcomas into rats and testing the effectiveness, and then they began using it in clinical trials. And then in 1978, the Federal Drug Administration approved the drug for cancer use, and the following year it was also approved in many European countries. And so through this, cisplatin became the first potent anti-cancer drug to use in chemotherapy, and also the first platinum-based FDA-approved drug. Pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics of cisplatin. So pharmacodynamics is the study of biochemical and physiological effects of drugs and the mechanisms of their actions. So essentially this is the effect the drug has on the body. For cisplatin, it moves through cell membranes and forms platinum complexes that are toxic to the cells, and then it binds to the DNA at the guanine bases. This causes the DNA to become cross-linked, resulting in many mutations. So when the repair mechanisms are activated, they deem the cell unsalvageable, so this results in apoptosis or systematic cell death. Pharmacokinetics is the action of drugs in the body over a period of time. So essentially it's the effect the body has on the drugs, and this can include absorption, distribution, biotransformation, and excretion. So for cisplatin, it becomes totally absorbed in the body after injection, and it distributes to the body fluids and tissues, especially those of the liver and the intestines. The terminal half-life is 30 to 100 hours, and the mechanism remains fairly unknown because the biotransformation has shown there's little evidence of it in the drug, and the excretion is primarily through urine, although there is some others. So this is cisplatin reacting with the N7 reactive center of the guanine base of DNA. And then this is cisplatin forming the interstrand cross-links of the DNA cells. And then this is just another visualization of it entering the cell and going into the DNA to damage it. And the most notable changes in the DNA are at the 1,2 interstrand cross-links of the DNA. So mechanisms, this is the industrial synthesis route. So potassium tetrachloroplatinate is reacted with potassium iodide to form tetraiodide, and then it's reacted with ammonia to form this compound, which is reacted with silver nitrite to form this compound, which is reacted with potassium chlorate, which produces the precipitate cisplatin. Then the biological mechanism, it enters a cell and the water molecules displace the drug's chloride items, and this causes it to become an electrophile that can react with any nucleophile, and then it binds to the N7 reactive center in the DNA, and this allows it to block cell division and results in the death of the cell. Another important mechanism includes oxidative stress, and this is an imbalance between the production of reactive oxygen species and the body's ability to detoxify. So the drug induces these reactive oxygen species and triggers the death of the cell. And cisplatin also affects calcium homeostasis, which can lead to events that lead to cell death. And it's a cell cycle non-specific and alkylating agent, which means it's the most active in the resting phase of the cell. And then major side effects. Many of the side effects, they can be really severe, like while taking the drug, but they usually tend to reverse after ending treatments. And major side effects include changes in how food tastes, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, nephrotoxicity, which is damage to the kidney, neurotoxicity or damage to the nerves, hepatic toxicity or damage to the liver, cardiotoxicity, damage to the heart, autotoxicity, which is hearing loss, and alopecia, which is hair loss. It also results in a decrease in blood cell production, and this itself can lead to numbness of extremities, low blood cell and platelet counts, and high fatigue. And it also results in an electrolyte disturbance. And cisplatin is known as an irritant, which means that when the veins through which it is administered produces high irritation and inflammation. So like when my dad was on the drug, he got really big blood clots and lumps on his arms. So that's why many cancer patients have they get ports put in so that they can deliver it directly into the main arteries, so it doesn't affect.